tell us a little bit about your life and what led you to climbing Mount Everest?
So, my name is Matt Dickinson. I'm a writer and filmmaker, and I write books like the Everest Files, which you've got here in the library at your school, at Eden Boys School, which is a great honour for me to see the book here in the library. And what led me to being interested in being a writer and filmmaker was really the reading that I did when I was a young boy. So I've always been a very active reader, and reading was the pathway that led me to adventure. So books was where it all began.
Teamwork is actually an important value here at Eden. How critical was teamwork in your climbing days?
So teamwork is absolutely fundamental to climbing. Everybody who goes climbing, ideally would be a good team player, because you need the support of your teammates. If you're having a bad day, they can help you out. If you have a technical problem, they can help you. If you have bad weather or a storm or an avalanche, your teammates are the most vital part of it that will help you to continue. So your chances of success are much, much better when you've got a good team around you. So that's great that here at Eden, you're focusing on teamwork, because it's an important thing.
There are actually a lot of young writers at Eden. How does a mountaineer go from Everest to writing a book?
To be a writer is a very exciting thing, and I'm delighted to hear that there are so many keen writers here at Eden. And I really encourage you to keep going with it. You could even set up your own blog site and do some blogging and stuff if you're really keen on being a journalist or a writer. When you're a writer, you get a chance to give your views to the world and to develop themes and stories and explore things. It's a really interesting, dynamic career to have. So I'm delighted to hear that, and really you need to have something that particularly interests you. You might be a sports journalist, you could be interested in football, you might end up doing sports journalism, you might be interested in movies, you might be a movie critic, writing reviews of movies, you might write reviews of computer games, whatever it is, or wildlife, for example, books about wildlife, books about anything. But you need to have that personal interest, which is going to spark it all off.
So how many books have you actually published, and how many movies have you actually put out there?
Right, so in the course of my career, I've probably published about 12 books. So that's quite a lot of books, isn't it? So normally about one every year I'm bringing out. And then in terms of films, I've probably made more than 20 or 30 documentary films over the years.
Have you had any hard times during your mountaineering and your career?
Yes, inevitably, when you climb big mountains, there will be tough challenges. And for example, I've had frostbite, I've been in an avalanche, I've been in a big storm. And so, if you go enough to the mountains over a period of time, almost inevitably, you will get some trouble along the way.
What advice could you give to the boys at Eden Boys School?
The advice I would give to the boys at Eden Boys School is to have a plan to go with your dreams. I'm sure that every boy at this school has got their own personal dreams of what they want to do in the future, but my advice would be get yourself a plan, because if you've got a dream and you've got a plan, then you're actually a very powerful person, and the chances are you will achieve your ambitions. But if you've only got the dream, well, I'm afraid that the chances of success are much, much less, because you need the dream and the plan.
What is your favourite book genre, and what are you reading at the moment?
Right, I like all types of different books. I love autobiographies. That's why my eye was caught when I walked into the library by this, Big Sam Allardyce, former manager of Bolton Wanderers. Have you ever heard of that team? Of course you have, because here we are in Bolton. And Big Sam was the manager of Bolton for years, so I know about him. So I love autobiographies. I love books about sportsmen, I love books about musicians. I think my favourite books of all are true life stories of people's lives, because it's amazing what you learn.
Thank you for coming to our interview today.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I hope you all have a good summer, and good luck.